small F player.
Hello friends, I'm Kanchan and you are welcome to Akulmach episodes. We had been discussing about different topics in a couple of programs, and today we are discussing a very interesting topic regarding mental health, especially among children, because we have COVID era which is going on. Many of the families and cities are under lockdown, schools are closed, students are not going anywhere, they are at home studying online. So what we feel is that I think it's crucial for children to interact, to go out, to have their own space. Now what happens, kids are there at home with the parents all the time, roaming around them, so they don't have any space, and I think sometimes it is quite irritable for children. We as an adult we can stop our urge to go out, but what we can tell our children? To discuss more about this, we have Sitesh Srivastava, who has a keen interest in corporate trainings. He had been associated with radio broadcasting. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you today?
Thank you, Kanchan. I'm really well today, and it's a great day ahead and another interesting conversation with you as always. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm fine. As usual, uh, rain is pouring. We are at home and we are doing as usual our office work. Children are studying. So, but at
Right.
times I feel that we can't go out and enjoy rains. We can't take children out due to obvious reason, as you know, that we are into COVID phase.
Yes, Kanchan, and that is the very concerning thing about children. That is all our part of conversation today. That children cannot go out like everyone else, and therefore, the subject mental health for the kids has taken the proportions which I think, Kanchan, has not been studied or not has been assessed so far. The amount of impact it has already had on the children around the world, and we are all trying to make things as usual for them, but I mean, mental health for kids is something that we will see after this all subsides down, finally, when we have a vaccine. And then how do we motivate our kids to go back and have a normal, playful life? What are your inputs?
I really feel that I think I feel that it is quite a problem for kids, especially because I also have a fear that how this will continue and how they will progress, how they grown up as a child, as a responsible person, because this phase is quite critical. They are not intermingling with their friends, they are not talking to them, they are confined to one place. So I think this will affect overall development of children, especially mental health, because online study is fine, but when you have to go, you have to play football, you have to play cricket, you have to talk to children, you have to do cycling, all this somehow is missing. And above all, parents are all around, so sometimes kids are not themselves as they should be when they are away from the parents. That's what I feel, because if the parents are there, always supervision on the children.
Yes, and actually that is a very valid point. Though I have always heard the other side from the parents that they feel little time for themselves when the children go to school. But I have never thought from a child's perspective that they also need to go away from parents for some times. So it's actually very interesting, and therefore different governments have been giving out instructions or suggestions, guidelines. For example, provide the assurance whenever they are needed. Why do you not need to go out? what is the problem in going out and playing with other kids? Why are we not going out and meeting our relatives and friends or the malls? So provide assurance whenever needed. Manage your child's anxiety. Engage them in indoor activities. Keep them in contact with their friends. Give them clear information. Make a routine of learning at home. And you see, the routine of learning is happening at home anyway, and sometimes I feel it is too much. And now we are discovering some interesting habits of our children while they have online classes,
Right.
and we did not know while they used to go to school. We used to only come to know bits and pieces during parent teachers meeting.
Right.
So it is important in this time to keep up the morale of children by doing all of these things. Anxiety in children is not easy to spot. It is not easy to identify, and therefore it becomes a challenge. Some many times I have heard parents don't even understand the child is going through an anxiety. What do you say?
Yes, I sometimes feel when I look towards my children that they have anxiety and generally they end up in quarreling or maybe crying because these are symptoms because they feel really bored staying at home. So the solution is yes, as you mentioned, is that you should follow a routine. Then you should have indoor plays and games to share with your children. But at the same time, I think there's also a challenge for parents because most of the parents are also working from home. So then the coordination of work and then play with the children, it is also very crucial because they have to really find out time. So suppose the classes start in school is 8:30 and the work station starts for parents also around 9 or 9:30. So then we have to leave children for some time. Then after the our classes are done, but offices are there. Office people are still working on their net. So I think these are very critical situations, and we have to really find out. We have to squeeze time for our children to come up, do something creative, take up workshops which are already available online. Uh, in fact, parents should also join whenever there's a break. And I think this is a routine they should follow. What do you say?
Yes, Kanchan, I think this is one of a time when parents, especially the busy parents, uh, it is very great opportunity for them to be closely watching their children. They also need to watch how much space the child needs at the same time. It is very easy to say parent needs space. Children too need their space. They also need clear information in these days. If they need to go out, what are the instructions? A meter of distance, hand sanitization, and all those things, not playing in a group. Cycling is still okay, but probably a football or a cricket may not be an okay. And all those things, they need clear information. And then engage them in indoor activities. I think this is a great time to play with the kids inside the carom board and the ludos of this world, and the chess, which
Right.
might be catching dust for so many years.
Right.
Therefore, and assurance, this assurance for children is very important, that parents are sitting at home. Many parents have lost the jobs, and therefore the child may get into this observation, oh my God, what happens next? And the kind of discussions happening in the home between parents, that also can leave a different kind of an anxiety in the child's mind. So that conscious decision of what we talk, what we show, what is our behavior, at the same time being an alert and active citizen to the community. This is the time that we as parents and children can come together and make a difference to our smaller communities where we live, isn't it?
Yes, and I think the major part of this whole challenge is loneliness. And if this loneliness can affect adult people, that it can also affect children. So never leave your children in a closed enclosure. Engage them with yourself, maybe in kitchen, and see with them cartoon if they enjoy that. Engage with creative activities once a while, maybe a day, once a week, or ask them to join some painting workshop, which are there online available at the moment. And of course, making conscious effort
That's
to,
right.
yeah, so making conscious effort to talk whatever they feel like and they enjoy. So I think that is also a great learning phase for children, because now they can know what what their child is good at, and what they need some progress, some support for the progress. I mean, isn't it?
That's right. That's right, Kanchan. In fact, I would like also to take this to a level, different level, by thinking about the children who are not with their families, the children of refugees, the migrants, the children who are internally displaced, deprived of liberty without parental care, on the children who are living on the streets and the urban slums where disabilities and conflict areas. So these children are not having even the basic support that was available to them by doing certain activities before the COVID time. Now, during the COVID time, the children who are growing up in the family environment, we talked about them. I think we also need to think about the children who are displaced. How do we take care of them? When the pandemic is over, how do these children can be brought into the government school scheme, or some kind of an inclusive scheme of teaching them some skills, because the life after this COVID is over going is going to be tough economically, and we know all over the world child labor is also a big challenge. What happens when a child is being seen as an economic contributor despite below a teenage life or being a teenager? So this is a challenge with the children who are in the homes in proper care. This is also a challenge for the children who are not with the home care, and therefore the mental health and the psychological resilience needs to be boosted by parents, by relatives, by community workers, and we need to identify the child's anxiety even if the child is not from our family, which generally the parents sometimes are unable to see, or they find it out very late, isn't it?
Yes, and I think you have raised a very valid point, because we have home care children, but we also have children in the community who are not with their parents, or they are living on street. So that is also very crucial. And in this particular phase, at this particular space, we need community to come out beside government to really help them. And I think many of the communities are helping. If you see, they are providing food, they are providing all necessity to all children and people who are living on street. But then when it comes to mental health, I think it need a closure look. And we should have more maybe doctors engaging in this, especially children who are living on streets, or child labor is banned in India. But then people are who are living in slum. So those children, I mean, need more care. But when children are children, they live anywhere at home, and or maybe somewhere, they will be affected. They are affected by COVID, because in any case, they are not meeting people. They are not doing anything which they wanted to do. And suppose if they go to school, so they meet, they do a lot of activity. So what I suggest is that uh, engage children in the activities, engage in, maybe take them to the kitchen and ask them to learn how the cooking is done. So that is also a kind of learning. Everything is learning. And then, of course, make a routine, take out time for your children, and so that they will not get bored and they will enjoy your company as you will be enjoying their company. So that is very
Exactly.
essential part of it.
Exactly, Kanchan. And absence of a school, absence of the school and the necessary structure and the measures and the discipline that the school was providing, that absence has made a sense of loss in the structure. So when they go back to school, I think that first 2 weeks, schools will have challenge to bring their discipline back. And that is where I think that it is important that discipline, as you spoke, needs to be maintained even while they are at home, so that the schools feel the less pressure. Otherwise, we will start getting a lot of complaints from the school in the first few weeks when they open up.
Yes, I know. You know that even a few cities are opening their schools at the moment, and although online classes will go on, but suppose I just read a news that in Delhi schools are opening up, but there's no attendance will be marked in the school, and online classes will be there, and it is choices left on the children if they want to attend the school physically or they want to hook on the online classes. So
Yes.
things are becoming little normal for people and for children, but still we have to take care because there's no vaccine. So we can't take a risk of sending our children to school. That's what I think. What are your ideas?
So I think, Kanchan, it is very important for as an adult, we discovered something that did not happen in our lifetime. And therefore, we as adults were taken aback by this situation that occurred in our lives. Then, in the first few months of fear that was there, it started subsidizing because we started learning the earlier pandemics, earlier challenges that our planet has faced. The last, it was said 100 years back during 1918, the Spanish flu.
Right.
Now there is a learning, there is a knowledge, there is no vaccine, but there is an alertness, there is a smartness in people. People have learned, and I think that smartness needs to be passed on to the children, especially the vulnerable children. That yes, like children are taken aback, adults are also taken aback. We all are in the same one boat or two boat or 100 boats, I can't say. So it is important for us to tell the children that this too will pass. ये भी गुजर जाएगा.
Right.
They will inherit a better future, and probably 100 years down the line, as the pandemic's trend shows, probably next 100 years down the line, the generations that will be there, they would be better equipped to handle this.
Right, sure. And you have raised a very valid point that make them ready for any eventuality that may occur in the future. So that's a very, very valid and quite interesting point you raised. And it was so lovely talking to you, Sitesh, today and learning more about this pandemic and how we can deal with mental health of the children. So we'll take a leave for today. We'll catch up again on a different
Sure,
topic
Kanchan.
next.
I can only say that my parting shot is that I remember that English poet's words, the child is the father of man.
Okay, bye bye. Take care.
Bye.